What's up, guys? Welcome to the Outer Nexus. Tonight, we will be checking into all of the crazy stuff that's been happening the past week with Jeffrey Epstein, what it means, the further implications of stuff like this happening, how it impacts us. We'll start out with this one. Harvard paper explores possibility that an object approaching from beyond solar system is hostile alien technology. The consequences, should the hypothesis turn out to be correct, could potentially be dire for humanity. Billy, is a giant alien spaceship on its way here, a giant reptoid fleet coming to ensure that its Republican underlings are not releasing these files? Is that what's happening here right now?
So when I first read this,
Yeah.
basically the way my brain interpreted it was that whatever is on its way is basically an alien missile.
Yeah.
Like, it's just coming like, nope, we're done. Like,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. And I think it's directly related to Jeffrey Epstein. That's just my little pet theory. I think the reptoids are coming to harvest whatever's left of this planet here. Here's another one. DOJ asks judge to unseal Epstein Maxwell grand jury testimony after like the outrage that's been happening over this, because it's just been getting crazier and crazier. The Streisand effect is just resounding at this point now. People are just diving back into this case and trying to figure out, wait a minute, I thought you said this and this and this and then a brick wall. Like, what happened to phase 2? There was a phase 1 with the files. Wouldn't that imply a phase 2?
Like, see, the thing that's confusing me is, why are we still talking about this?
Yeah, why are we still talking about this?
We had Trump literally come on, and that was his comment. Like, it's like, why are we still? Because it was like always supposed to happen. Everybody was like primed for like
he was setting this. If it wasn't for him, this is crazy. If it wasn't for him himself propping the theory up, nobody would be talking about this. This is essentially a core part of his campaign. Maybe not specifically this one thing, but rooting out corruption and from the government, and human trafficking,
and not just his campaign, but Kash Patel,
Kash Patel and Dan Bongino,
and it's like, he even said on, what was it on the Joe Rogan show,
probably him or Timcast, something like that.
He came on and he's like, the key things in the file are behind. The only person that has real access to it is the head of the FBI.
Oh yeah, and that's the other thing here.
It's like, you became the head of the FBI, and you even said day 1 releasing the black book.
Like, so now they're gonna try to throw us this bone and I guarantee you, I'm going to operate under the assumption that they're going to they're just going to release some completely blanked out files again, which is still crazy. The question still remains, why is any of this redacted if it's not an intelligence operation?
No.
That still stands. Like, nobody's answered that question. But I think, hang on, let me see. Anna Paulina Luna, I think she brought up that point that it is basically on the FBI at this point.
Yes.
Who managed this entire situation. And then they get James Comey's daughter to clean up, I think, this and Diddy? Was she the one on Diddy's
I'm
trial?
not sure about that one.
I don't know which one she did, but she definitely cleaned up this case, and she made a nice little bow on it and closed it all up.
Yeah, and like, one of the things that really gets me about the whole it's like, you guys, you can't go from saying one thing to another. Like, I think that's where everybody's at, is it's, you had stuff and then all of a sudden you're like, no, there's no files, the man was innocent, basically.
Let me see. So here's this thing from Anna Paulina Luna that she just came out with on Twitter. I'm thrilled that Congress members are finally showing interest in releasing the files I've been pursuing for months. However, it's suspicious that the media still isn't covering the story from March about evidence destruction at the FBI under Biden. under Biden ref Epstein, the AG should definitely investigate. Today, I even showed journalists, but I saw that they didn't report it. I wonder why. My new allies in Congress who claim to champion transparency were silent when I initially called for investigations. Now they're suddenly eager to join the cause. They should get all the facts first. I challenged them to support my upcoming discharge petition to reveal the secret fund Congress uses to quietly settle lawsuits and sexual harassment claims in the House, all paid for with taxpayer money. Let's see if they're truly committed to transparency. Mark my words, we will achieve transparency, but some of these individuals are hypocrites, using the files to appear virtuous while ignoring the issue for months, engaging in insider trading, excessive drinking, affairs, and behavior so unethical that if the public knew the truth, they'd never vote for them again. It's frankly disgusting. Height of hypocrisy. That's an amazing post by Anna Polina Luna. She's basically directly calling out the FBI here, and it's totally called for at this point. Like, if the FBI destroyed evidence, then that's like a huge deal. Then that means we have because here's the thing. Here's why it matters. Because we can't have an international pedophile blackmail ring controlling our government. And whoever is defending that needs to be removed from the government. So if the FBI is corrupt, then we need to start looking into these individuals who may have been doing this at the FBI.
Well, here's a question for you too.
Yeah.
You know, throwing in the FBI into this mix, if we'll say the former FBI heads of the FBI, I'm not saying they were involved, but at the time, you know, just with the time frame, they could have been.
Yeah.
To some degree.
Mm-hmm.
But they were gone.
Yeah.
And we got a new FBI director.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, and before he was put into the FBI, he was gung ho, like, we're doing this.
Yeah.
Then he gets put in there, and all of a sudden, no. Now, and what I mean by that
Cash
is,
Patel, both of them, Dan Bongino, Cash Patel,
is he couldn't have been part of that whole thing, but now is silent on it, which means what happened?
Like, what happened? How was he? Because here's the thing, and Dan Bongino is actually a really good example of this, of a person who basically, like, risked everything in his entire life to go full-blown into the Epstein thing, to carry that banner to the end of becoming the deputy director of the FBI and then hitting this wall. Like, if you have a person like that, that's like built their entire career around this to make this happen, and you can assume that they have already internalized that, yes, I and my family will probably be in danger if I try to cover the story in the way that I'm covering it. I'm trying to go down this line of logic. And so this is a man who's already accepted that. I'm just talking about Dan Bongino here. I don't really trust Cash Patel a whole lot, but Dan Bongino, I feel like, is this kind of person. He's already internalized that myself and my family are probably in danger for me covering the story in the way that I am. He's already internalized this. He gets to his end goal of becoming, like, the deputy director. What is it?
Yeah,
that is the thing that changes a man that intent.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's kind of been my, like, that was a 180.
Yeah. Like 180.
Like, and it just brings up the question, like, because we all have it in the back of our heads. Mm-hmm. There's something behind the government, where they basically, they pull you into the back room and they're like, this could happen.
Yeah.
We're not saying it's gonna, but if you don't, if you play your cards right, you don't have to worry about whatever this is.
Yeah. Here, let me pull this up really quick, because this is actually just... Okay, here we go. This is what he said. Okay, so this is Dr. Gary Nolan on Jordan Peterson's podcast. So, as you know, Billy, Jordan Peterson likes to be a very, very serious person. This is probably someone even more serious than Jordan Peterson. So throughout the interview, it's pretty interesting watching because this is someone Jordan Peterson has to listen to because he simply has much more credentials than Peterson himself has. He's this dude has invented multiple different cancer therapies. He has like 89,000 works cited. He is a very, very prominent scientist. Here is his response.
But I think the more interesting conclusion is if something is here, it's likely been here longer than humans have even been civilized. So it really opens the question, and actually it's something that I think Charles Fort actually said, is, Earth is probably somebody else's property.
So what do you think about something like that? That if there was, following what you were saying before.
Here's the thing. I don't like stuff like that. And
I know that, yeah.
But it's
at this point it's like, what the fuck is going on here?
But because like if you just look at like some of the reactions that you get, Kash Patel as an example, it's like
scared out of his mind.
And it's like that's the director of the FBI. It's like, I'm open.
Yeah. They take you to a back room to a robe dude. He is just like, we control your entire family's bloodline from the fifth dimension, and it's like, and that's it.
Yeah, like okay, like I'm open to ideas like this now. Yeah. It's like, because that's like all you can say is like these are the top people in government who you would think hold sway over
reality.
Yeah, and it's like all of a sudden they're like,
nope, can't touch that.
Can't touch that with a steady kind of stick. I don't care how long it is.
Yeah, so it's getting a little crazy. And like we showed before, all the Republicans voted against measures to release the list.
Yeah.
It's like, what? What are you doing, guys? What the fuck is going on? Like,
well, not only to release the list, but now
to block it.
No, it's gone.
It's gone now.
There is no list.
Right. There is no list now. Yeah. There is simply no list. They don't know what you're talking about anymore.
Yeah, that whole thing that they've been saying, like, I have the list on my desk. I've seen it. Like, they've all been like, I've seen.
It's just a Democrat hoax now.
Yeah, that's
so crazy.
Those were they were using the wrong words. There was no list. Yeah. It never existed.
Yeah. And you're stupid for thinking there was.
Yeah, and you're stupid for thinking there was, and it was just a wrong way of speaking.
Yeah.
It was just they had files on their desk.
Yeah.
And a list could have been in them, but they didn't know that. They just had files.
Yeah. And if these kind of weasel words, kind of get into your brain and mix it all up, like, wait a minute, I thought that this and this and this, please go watch Saagar Enjeti sit Andrew Schultz down and explain from beginning to end exactly the crimes and the international blackmail ring that Jeffrey Epstein ran. And I'm so glad he did this. It is a 3-hour long interview with Saagar Enjeti, and he just lists out exactly all of the crimes that happened, and they are dramatic and crazy, and it's real. This isn't like a hoax or a conspiracy or just a fart in the wind that everybody kind of misinterpreted. No, there are real crimes that happened here. Okay, there's young girls that were being trafficked by very powerful people. Okay, you had Les Wexner, the CEO of Victoria's Secret, who was known to, obviously be involved in this weird stuff. He signed his power of attorney to Jeffrey Epstein because Jeffrey Epstein was just such a good friend.
Upstanding.
Yeah.
Like, that's all. And now, but I think he's been proven correct. Right? Like, Jeffrey, that is an innocent man.
Yeah,
that's just being targeted.
Innocent. Just be completely innocent.
Because like we mentioned in our last episode, what evidence is there now?
What evidence?
So it's like, technically, like, he's been sitting in jail. It's like, yeah, but what, on what?
Yeah.
For what? You're now saying nothing happened. What do you,
Well,
yeah.
Yeah, and you know, why did Ghislaine Maxwell go to prison? Well, let's check it out. Let's check out this article. I am going to read this one because this one I feel like is entirely relevant to this. So, Senator Ron Wyden has found that 4 banks waited until Mr. Epstein's arrest on federal charges to flag $1.5 billion in suspicious transactions. Mr. Wyden wants the documents made public. President Trump and his administration want to move on from Jeffrey Epstein, the disgraced financier and sexual offender who once associated with some of the world's richest and most powerful people. Some of Mr. Trump's most loyal supporters insist there is more to uncover, but it's not just the MAGA faithful who are refusing to let it go. Senator Ron Wyden of Oregon, the top Democrat on the powerful Senate Finance Committee, has been digging into Mr. Epstein's financial network for the past 3 years. Some members of his staff have viewed confidential files that shed light on the immense sums of money that they say Mr. Epstein moved through the banking system to fuel his vast sex trafficking network. In particular, filings by 4 big banks flagged more than $1.5 billion in transactions, including thousands of wire transfers for the purchase and sale of artwork for rich friends, fees paid to Mr. Epstein by wealthy individuals, and payments to numerous women, the senator's office found. The filings came after Mr. Epstein was arrested in 2019 on federal sex trafficking charges. Oh yeah, that's right. That's the other thing. He was arrested on federal sex trafficking charges. What do you know?
Well, those were found to be
erroneous.
So, but what you just read, right?
Yeah.
Think about it.
Yeah.
That was a U.S. senator in charge of the Oversight Finance Committee.
Yeah.
He has been digging into this, like that article said, for 3 years.
Yeah. There's just a treasure trove of stuff.
Oh, no. Well, no.
There's just nothing. There's just nothing.
It took 3 years
to find nothing.
To find nothing. There was nothing there. He's been digging for 3 years into an empty hole that just shows. Yeah, like that's
large money transfers to individuals, foreign countries, or obscure companies are the kind of things banks are supposed to be examining as potentially suspicious. Some of the Epstein money transfers disclosed in a report from J.P. Morgan Chase involved accounts at 2 Russian banks before those institutions were subject to U.S. sanctions. A few transactions red flagged were for as much as $100 million. Mr. Wyden said his investigation into Mr. Epstein's finances had taken on a new urgency now that the Trump administration was balking at the release of any information seized by the FBI from Mr. Epstein's homes or information collected from the nation's banks. Like many Republicans on the far right, Mr. Wyden and a growing number of Democrats believe there are more details about Mr. Epstein that the federal government needs to reveal. We felt from the beginning that this was a follow-the-money case, Mr. Wyden said in an interview. This horrific sex trafficking operation cost Epstein a lot of money, and he had to get that money from somewhere. The bank records reviewed by Mr. Wyden's staff, called Suspicious Activity Reports, or SARS, are meant to be an early warning system for law enforcement about some illegal activity as dictated by federal law. The reports are so confidential that banks can't even acknowledge filing them, and people who have seen the documents are under great constraint as to what they can say about them. Members of Mr. Wyden's staff provided an overview of the bank's reports to the New York Times based on their review of the filings. To some degree, Mr. Wyden is hamstrung by those rules, which is why he wants the Trump administration to make the reports available to Congress so members can review them and possibly issue subpoenas to the banks for more information. Even before the Justice Department announced last week it was closing the doors on the Epstein investigation, Mr. Wyden had been pressing Attorney General Pam Bondi to turn over bank reports along with other information about wealthy individuals and financial institutions in Mr. Epstein's network. Let me see, how far does this go down? All right, this is a lot, so we're not gonna read that whole article, but there is a lot to this. There's a lot of stuff here. There's a lot of meat on this bone. Hang on, let me see. There is also the Wall Street Journal, Trump letter. Let's let's get into this, because this is actually pretty weird. Did you see this yet?
I didn't see this.
Okay,
Yeah.
so Jeffrey Epstein's friends sent him bawdy letters for a 50th birthday album. One was from Donald Trump, allegedly. The leather-bound book was compiled by Ghislaine Maxwell. The president says the letter is a fake thing. All right, here we go. A collection of letters gifted to Jeffrey Epstein for his 50th birthday in 2003 include a note bearing Donald Trump's name and an outline of a naked woman. According to the Wall Street Journal report, the drawing depicting a woman's breast and a Donald signature in place of pubic hair surrounded several lines of typewritten text. According to the newspaper, which reviewed the letter, it concluded with the lines, "Happy birthday, and may every day be another wonderful secret." Um, let's see. Here we go. What did it say? It started voiceover. There must be more to life than having everything. Like it's like a comic, I guess. I guess it's like a comic of like a naked woman, and at the top it says there must be more to life than having everything. And then Donald says, "Yes, there is, but I won't tell you what it is." And then Jeffrey says, "Nor will I, since I also know what it is." Donald, "We have certain things in common." Jeffrey, "Yes, we do, come to think of it." Donald, "Enigmas never age. Have you noticed that?" Jeffrey, "As a matter of fact, it was clear to me the last time I saw you." Donald, "A pal is a wonderful thing. Happy birthday, and may every day be another wonderful secret." And it sounds like it's an inside joke. Trump is denying it. And, I just kind of assumed that it sounded weird. Like, like, just surface level, just like what's being said in this weird comic with this naked lady, allegedly. Um, but then I thought about it more. And, you know, Donald says some pretty bizarre shit sometimes.
Sometimes.
Honestly, like he does have a kind of a baseline, a normal baseline, but then he will say some pretty weird stuff. Like he'll come out there with some left fielders.
Yeah.
And for him to say, and his response to this was strange because it was just like, it's a fake thing. I've never drawn a picture in my life. I don't draw pictures. It's not how I communicate. And when I read that, I was like, he doesn't draw pictures. He doesn't communicate that way. Why would he draw a picture? And then I looked into it. Oh, he does actually do doodles described exactly in that way. He actually does doodles with heavy marker. And they apparently this is for some charity thing, and apparently he draws these pictures for his real estate companies for like charity auctions. Let's see. Trump previously sold a number of his drawings at charity auctions. One sketch of the Empire State Building bearing Trump's signature was sold in an auction in Florida around 1995. So he does actually do that. He draws pictures with his signature integrated into them. And apparently in this drawing, his signature was, in between the legs of this naked woman.
Yeah.
So it's weird. What do you think about that? What do you think about that he had that they're now trying to come up with all this basically evidence against Trump? It's weird that the Democrats didn't use this to weaponize this information against Trump while Biden was in office.
Yeah, I do think it was.
But now suddenly all the Epstein files are entirely about Trump for some weird reason.
Well, here's the thing in a general sense.
Yeah.
It's okay, we during Biden's whole era.
Yeah.
We're not going to get into too much about that whole thing, but
yeah,
you could have prosecuted at some point.
Yeah.
Or at least attempted something, put something on the news, whatever it may be.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't.
Yeah.
And okay, so what stops people from doing that?
Yeah.
Again, it's questionable, but it's the whole reason everybody thought that like this is on hold
Yeah.
is because everybody thought that a case was being built in the background because you need a rock hard, no holes case against powerful people.
Yes.
Because if you have even a slightest hole, a lawyer is, that they pay $1 billion
Yes.
to. He's sneaking out. Everybody's sneaking out through that hole. Okay, so you need the perfect case.
Yeah.
But you have all of these people that are indicted.
Yeah.
One of them, that I believe was told about to be on the list. Again, this is just because I saw it, and I'm not saying it is or isn't, but Microsoft, Bill Gates.
Yes. Bill Gates.
It's like it brings into question someone like him was on this list.
Yeah.
That thing's never going to public trial.
Yeah.
Because just Microsoft itself.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, you have him on the list.
Yeah.
He's connected directly to the government.
Yeah.
Like there's no way around it. Like, oh, if you take him in, it's like now you have Windows, which everybody runs off of.
Yeah.
It's like you can't send him to jail.
Yeah.
So he's one of those people that you think is like, okay, it's in the background. They're never going to bring this into light.
Yeah.
Because of people like him being on this list.
Yeah.
And then everybody's like getting behind it. Again, even now Donald Trump was said to be on the list.
Yeah.
And they're never going to do this.
Yeah, and well, that's why.
And now the list doesn't exist.
Yeah. Now, that's why Bill Gates' wife left him. You don't know? Yeah.
Oh no, that's what I meant. Yeah.
Like his wife left him over this stuff.
Yeah.
Because he's part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, why would? Because you almost have to bring that into a thing. It's like, I'm not saying anybody that's rich has a perfect life. That doesn't always happen. But it's like you have someone like Bill Gates and Melinda.
Melinda Gates. Yeah.
And it's like, you guys have all of the things that most people have ever talked about wanting and more. Like you have it all.
Yeah.
You have a charity. Like her whole life was just like, how can I spend billions of dollars on everybody?
Yeah.
It's like, okay. And it's like, now you have that relationship, which should be pretty, like, everybody's pretty happy, Yeah. You don't worry about money. You don't even like live on this planet that way, and they break up.
Yeah.
It's like, for what? And again, you have to think that's probably one of those things.
Yeah. Well, no, I think she even came out and said that, because of Bill's improprieties with young women, basically, and just unresolved issues. Now, let me see here. And so... And that's the other thing. We can't forget that back in 2008, Jeffrey Epstein had an insane plea deal. Like he was caught human trafficking minors. He was you have him on camera saying, "What are your charges?" Trafficking a minor. Like he says it.
Yeah.
It's like, wow.
He said that, and then
it was prostitution with a minor.
Yeah.
Which is like that's not that different.
Yeah.
Prostitution with a minor is not much different than trafficking.
Yeah.
Because the question is consent. Where is the consent there? It's a minor. So he got a plea deal for that. He got a plea deal in Palm Beach. I believe that's Florida. Yeah. And so Sagar makes the claim, and I can't find it anywhere, so I'm just going to say he made this claim that during this during the negotiations for the plea deal, Jeffrey Epstein flies to Israel because if you are of Jewish descent, what is it called, Billy? You get the ability to go back if you want. You could visit Israel. You get the citizenship thing. Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
Oh, you didn't know that? Oh, okay. All right. So yeah, if you're like confirmed Jewish descent, like ethnically, you could sign up to become a citizen of Israel and get an Israeli passport and a whole bunch of stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, and so apparently, um, Jewish pedophiles had been using this little feature that they have built
Services.
in. Yeah. So Jeffrey Epstein was just the most famous one, but apparently it happened with other ones. This is what Sanger was saying, where they head over to Israel while their charges blow over.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know?
one of the things that I think the Epstein case
Yeah.
overshadows
Mhm.
is someone else went to jail.
Yeah.
And this person's still, I believe, in jail.
Yeah.
And that's Weinstein.
Harvey Weinstein.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Candace Owens is working on getting him out. It's just like, what?
and it brings up, because you hear about it quite a bit. It's like, what are the things happening in Hollywood, especially older Hollywood?
Yeah.
And you hear about what happens in those offices, the casting offices.
Yeah.
Like, you want to be a star? Like, that these questions have always been brought up.
Yeah.
And who finances Hollywood?
Well, the Hollywood accounting tricks that they have.
Well, I don't just mean the accounting tricks, but I mean,
you mean
yeah, like the different groups that own the big studios of Hollywood.
Yeah, the ones you can't piss off.
Yeah. And so it brings it, into question, like you said, like, people could run over there. People could, do different tricks, to get out of the spotlight.
Yeah.
And this has been going on for ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And so, yeah. It's funny you bring that up, because we'll just dive right into interdimensional space aliens.
Okay.
Immediately into interdimensional space aliens from that line. So this is called, hold on, let me pull this up. So this is a novel written in, what is it, 1973, okay? By a person named Donald Barr. Donald Barr was an Office of Strategic Services officer, which was the thing before the CIA. He was a headmaster at the Dalton School, which is and basically where a lot of intelligence people get groomed from. And he was the father of William Barr, who was the Attorney General for Donald Trump, who oversaw the Epstein stuff. All that stuff.
All that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so this book, he only ever wrote 2 books, and this book just so happened that the plot of this book is that there is an intergalactic empire ruled by aristocrats, and there always has been, and guess how they're all managed and controlled? By underage sex trafficking blackmail. The whole galaxy.
The whole galaxy.
The whole galaxy is run by, here, let me see, of humans to become illegal plaything. Let me just read this, the first here. In the future, humans have formed an intergalactic empire ruled by aristocrats during a time of war with the Plith, an empire of ant-like alien bug people. Ambassador John Craig, a formerly liberal Earthman in his 30s, is dispatched to the strategically important planet of Kosar, a human colony that was settled by the Carlisle Society as a place of exile for political extremists, and is now ruled by an oligarchical high council of 7 nobles, each of whom is in charge of a different domain with its own traditions. Their boredom and absolute power have driven them to madness, to the point that Kosar's entire entry into the empire has been stymied by the Man-Inhabited Planets Treaty Clause, written by Craig, against alliances with slave-owning societies due to its practice of kidnapping humans to become illegal playthings of the galaxy's super rich. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. Here we go. Craig, who is now campaigning to bring Cossire into the Empire, had previously been to the planet when the passenger ship on which he was traveling on a return trip from the Betelgeuse conference was captured by space pirates. While en route to Cossire, one of the pirates awakened Craig and the other prisoners to rape a 15-year-old virginal red-headed female captive in front of them. The rapist's fellow pirates later hear of this and dock his pay as punishment for spoiling her market value. This that is a book written about space aliens using interplanetary sex ring blackmail to keep things in order. What do you think about that, Billy?
I mean, that is a book.
By the father of William Barr, who presided over the Epstein case.
Yeah, I mean,
It's just, what is going on? Like, I couldn't write a science fiction plot line like this.
no, and it. I don't even normally I have something like this. It's like, do you want to really draw lines? It's like, yeah, but I didn't have to draw this one. Like, this one's kind of there, and I don't want to say that it is or isn't, but it's like, that's interesting.
That's just, that's very direct.
Yeah.
Right on the surface. Like, my God, what is happening? All right, so hang on. Okay, so here we go. And this is the, so, okay, then let's get into basically, oh yeah, that's right. Also, as all of this is happening, Area 51 caught on fire.
Oh?
Yeah. When did this happen? Like 2 days ago. Area 51 in flames. Enormous fire breaks out in Area 51, sending UFO watchers into a frenzy. And yeah, they're burning the spaceships. They're burning the ships. The Reptoid fleet is coming, and they're burning our ships. That's what's happening here.
Yeah.
Okay, so hang on. Let me see. So let's get into the second chapter here
Of
now.
this one.
Of
Okay.
this one. Okay. So I was watching, and I'm so happy that Jesse Michaels had on Jay from Project Unity and Kurt Metzger. That was one of the best episodes ever. It was Jeffrey Epstein and UFOs. I'm glad somebody else is trying to cover this kind of stuff. But in that episode, Jay brings up this concept of, the U.S. has the Senate, the House. Britain has its own parliament. It has the House of Commons, the House of Nobles. The House of Commons is kind of like our house, and the House of Nobles is like nobility, not senators. They're all just, that's what's going on there. But there is one other position in there, and it's unclear whether it's an informal or it's a formal position. Maybe Jay clarifies that, but it's called a remembrancer. And the remembrancer sits in any parliamentarian session and just listens and reports back to the Corporation of London, the City of London Corporation, and tells them whatever happened in that parliament session. And the Corporation of London, yeah, that's it. Here we go. How old is this? How old is the Corporation of London? Okay, so it's around 1,200 years old. Something like that. Maybe 13.
Yeah.
Something like that. Now, the corporation itself is based at the Guildhall. Here we go. Okay, the Guildhall. This built during the 15th century. That's what, because I'm nearly certain it would have started as a guild, because that's what a corporation was called back then. The City of London Corporation is probably somewhere around 600 years old. And it's one of the first corporations in the world. It very likely started as a guild in that guild hall. And basically, I feel like this is one of those entities that essentially controls the world. What do you think about the City of London?
Well, it's not about like the city necessarily of London.
Oh yeah, we're not talking about talking about London. We're talking about there. So there is a very, very tiny.
Yeah, you can see it there.
Yeah, so this is all of the City of London here, and then there's this tiny little township right in the middle with its own mayor, its own laws. It's only about a square mile. It's basically one giant historic district. And it's kind of controls all the finances almost in the entire world, basically.
Well, depending on how you look at it.
Yeah.
But, one of the things that, what has been rumored, at least to be said, is that and this next part actually isn't so much rumor, that the royal family owns like 99.9% of the City of London, like basically everything in it. That means all of the land rights belong to them, and basically anybody that lives in the City of London rents from the royal family. And, you have to kind of imagine, like, the prices have gone up in 600 years. And that's not the only thing that they own. It's just a thing that they own. And since, the city has expanded, which you can see by that little map that we had up, chances are they own most of that now as well. And basically, it's been thought that they have a lot of money, like an unreasonable amount of money.
Well, priceless artifacts.
Well, and that's just, it could be in price, but I'm saying, like, they also just have, money, like not just in an artifact, like, if I sold this, it'd be worth a bunch. They have those. But at the same time, just they've been collecting like
gold and stuff.
Gold and rent and different things for 600 some years. That the wealth of the royal family has been rumored, at least, to be in the trillions, basically.
But more than that, a lot of this kind of stuff basically alludes to the idea that our governments are not our governments. Like, for example, what's the cost to buy a senator's vote? I think it's like $80,000.
Well, depending.
And at this point, for hyper corporations, it's actually advantageous to do that. You know what I mean? Like, that's the way to go. You just pay off the senators. So really, we don't actually have real representation. We have people controlling a kabuki theater. And basically that's what Parliament is. And the Corporation of London is the puppet master for Britain. They're the puppet masters. But like, just as an example, that's the one for Britain. The one for America, I think, is pretty obvious and present with the monopolistic regulatory capture of our entire government. At this point, it just seems very clear to me. You know what I mean? Is this the dystopian takeover? Is it happening, Billy?
I think
is this the complete dystopian takeover of the corporations?
If you want my opinion on that, like we're
this is it.
We're in that. And I've said certain things, and I don't like saying this next part, but I 100% am basically on board with it. Is they've done studies. How much, like you said, you could buy a senator's vote. How much is your vote worth? My vote worth? The average American citizen. It's nothing.
Nothing.
In fact, they found it to be like 1%.
Yeah.
Then they redid the study because they were like, maybe that was wrong.
Yeah.
And no, it was 0.
It was 0.
So they
Yeah.
they retracted 1%,
Yeah.
and we're like, no, actually you have 0.
Yeah.
So, like, we've been told our entire
Yeah.
lives, like, you vote and you get whatever it is that you're voting for, you
Yeah.
know, against each other.
Yeah.
But no, it's money.
It's just money.
It's just money. And
Yeah.
and one of the things I hate to say, and especially with the AI things that
Mhm.
we've talked about and where money goes towards that,
Yeah.
is like, if money is what's making all of this go around, then what are we even doing?
Yeah.
Like, we can't just have that be the controlling factor, especially anymore when it's
Yeah.
like the money's just rolling to certain companies, like
Yeah.
just going over, and our government's controlled by that. It's
Yeah.
obvious. Like,
Yeah.
we need to rethink what our government is
Yeah.
because it's controlled by money.
And the thing is, this Jeffrey Epstein stuff just only acts as an accelerant to the fuel. Like, yo, this needs to stop. We need to reevaluate what government is. And I think that's an important discussion. However, the next subject that we're about to get into is, we have all that. We have these corporations doing these things and controlling these governments. Probably the reptoids in their fleet coming in to harvest all of our souls. But the question is, what is the end goal to all of this? What are they trying to do? What's the next step? And we are going to get into that in the next episode after this. This is going to be a 2-parter. So we're going to leave that there for now, and we'll see you next time.